Discernment Part 2. Now, honestly, God the Father and Jesus Christ and the kingdom of heaven got me doing this message, humbly speaking. But discernment, discernment. Just getting more into depth about discernment and all this stuff. See, the thing about discernment is, as God is leading me to say this stuff, by the Spirit of God. It's not for everybody, I'm going to be very real too. And see, here's the thing. God is not giving it to everybody. No, he won't. He will not. And I'm going to tell you a little bit why and just getting more into depth about it and all that deep stuff. But yeah, discernment, God is not giving it to everybody. It doesn't matter what title they hold. It doesn't matter any of that stuff. Because see, here's the thing, everybody does not have good intentions. And everybody is not pure. Everybody does not have a pure soul, pure heart, all that stuff. No. Outside of these other beings as well. But overall, everybody does not have good intentions. So see, the thing is, God deals with everybody differently concerning discernment. That's what you got to understand. And others really just will not have it, I'm being real. And God is very intentional with this stuff too. And I don't really see, me personally, I don't blame God for doing things the way he does. Because once again, as he's even leading me to say, everybody does not have good intentions. And see, what you got to understand is that discernment is for his people, really, to have, God's people. Everybody else, though, and people who God has interest in pure souls, pure beings. Everything outside of that, though, no. Once again, they will not be having discernment. And you people hearing this too, who are, haters and all that stuff, you will not be having discernment. You people who are stalkers, you will not be having discernment, all that stuff, and he is leading me to say this stuff too. And discernment is, once again, it is a gift of the Spirit. And it's not just limited to God is going to give discernment to particular beings, individuals that he sees that is genuine and pure. And then the people who are in his kingdom, these people really they have discernment too. Of course they do. You know what I'm saying? And God heightens it more and more. The more serious you take God too. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to be having discernment and you don't even take God serious too. See, that's another thing too. See, that's the reason why a lot of people don't have it too. They don't take God serious. They don't take his people serious either. And you take God for granted, you take his people for granted, you take his kingdom for granted. And then, now you don't even have any discernment. You see what I'm saying? So pretty much, you're going to fall under the delusions that God is going to send your way. Because God said he will, in the last days, he will send a strong delusion to people to where they will believe a lie and lies. So you people who don't have discernment, you're liable to be a part of these delusions of God. If God is sending it, you're just going to be under delusions regardless. You don't even got to worry about the enemy trying to bring you into lies, because God is going to send you strong delusions, which is pretty much dealing with you being handed over to, once again, delusions, as in lies, and just, it's more or less I want to say a spiritual hypnosis almost too, to where you're just believing things that are not necessarily true, and it's not God's truth. And God is doing this intentionally because he sees you're not serious about him, and he sees you don't care concerning his kingdom and all that stuff. And I'm just being led by the Spirit saying all these things. I will not quench God's Spirit. But anyhow, discernment, it's not limited to anything really, or being, if I'm being real. And discernment, it truly has to be earned, and also you have to be pure too for God to even develop the discernment too within you, certain individuals and beings. And God will give it to certain people and beings that he sees that he wants to give it to. I'm being very real. And everybody else, you just will not have discernment. You will not be seeing through anything. And also you will not have these other attributes concerning discernment too. Because yes, discernment has attributes to it too. It's deeper than just seeing through stuff. And that's the thing. And a lot of people think they have it because, like, too, God's leading me to say this stuff. But see, they think that, like, they see through something and they just, like, basically, see, here's the thing, too. And God is leading me to say this. Like, you people who turn your back on me and all that stuff, too, you people will not really be having discernment either. Because I keep telling you, when you turn your back on God's people, God's chosen people, all that stuff, no, I mean, you cannot expect to have discernment and God just give you discernment after you turned your back on his people. And his kingdom overall is what you're doing when you do that. But this is deeper to me, yes. So, but I'm just being led to say this stuff. But you people who turn your back on God's people, all that stuff, God is just going to basically hand you over to the strong delusion, the strong delusions. And see, you people just like, you judge stuff you don't understand. And that's the thing about you people. And this is not limited to just like normal civilians either. No, like I said, but you people who turn your back on not only me, but God's other chosen people and people who God has interest in and overall just picked, you people, God is slowly going to take away your discernment, you people's discernment. And then others, like, he may still grant certain discernment. Yeah, he will, you know. I'm giving you the full truth. But overall, getting these certain attributes of discernment, and like, once again, discernment is a gift of the Spirit. So these certain attributes that's within discernment, no, you will not be getting. You turned your back on people and all the stuff of God's kingdom is what I'm saying, and God's chosen people, no, you will not be having the attributes of discernment. And even going into the spirit realm, God is just going to show you this stuff too. You know, whether you believe this stuff or not. But yeah, overall discernment is something to truly that you got to pray for. You got to be humble and all this deep stuff. And then, like I said, a lot of people have this stuff that are like certain stars. They have it way more than these people who profess God. And that's the thing. And honestly, it's not really a sad case with me because I already know what God is doing concerning these people and these certain individuals and just overall. I be knowing how God is operating concerning these things. Now, I don't know everything concerning it. No, I don't. And, you know, all that stuff. But I do know what God shows me and tells me and all the stuff within my relationship with him. And overall, I truly know how he does operate. But see, he's not limited to anything too. See, that's the thing about God, the Father. He's not limited to anything, you know. So that's the thing. God can do whatever he wants. Is what I'm telling you. He really can. But anyhow, yeah, I'm just saying, yeah, overall that, yeah, I do know how he's operating concerning a lot of stuff. Prophecy stuff, more or less, is what I'm saying. And yeah, I mean, discernment, yeah, he's just not giving it to everybody. He's not going to either because he sees people's deeper intentions. And God does not want everybody to have it too. You know, this is one of those gifts where he does not give to everybody. And even get more into depth about discernment too. Yeah, I mean, you know, Satan's people. Yeah, I mean, certain ones have discernment and then others, they really don't. And they're not meant to either, I'm being real. Because the God of Israel is overall in control. That's what you got to understand. But see, like I said, Satan does have his certain power that is limited, but he is able to, like, you know, do certain things concerning this matter too, when it comes to his people, to do certain demonic stuff for him, you know, all this stuff. But I mean, overall though, once again, discernment is truly a gift of the Spirit. And yeah, it must, like, discernment is something that, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, once again, it's a gift of the Spirit. And it's something that God has not given to everybody. He will not give to everybody, is what I'm telling you. You know, because he sees the true intentions with people's motives towards other people and all this deep stuff. You know, you cannot be no hater and you cannot be envious and jealous and expect to have discernment. You see what I'm saying? No, it's not going to be that way. It's not, no matter what you people think of this stuff. I'm trying to tell you, it's not. And yeah, but discernment is something that it's given, but it's also earned as well when it comes to certain attributes of discernment. It's also earned, and there's higher levels and all that deep stuff of discernment and attributes to discernment spiritually. I'm telling you what I know by the Spirit of God, humbly speaking, all glory to God. But yeah, I mean, yeah, discernment it's truly given from God. And he gives it to certain people who are pure. I'm just going to be very real, and who he sees fit to give it to. That's the thing. You don't have to be perfect and all that stuff, but you do have to be pure, and he does give discernment to these certain individuals and beings, even outside of what I'm talking about. But everybody else, no, you will not have discernment. It doesn't matter what title you hold and all this stuff. A lot of these people will just not have it, and they're not meant to have it. And overall, God sees the bigger picture concerning people and everything. So with all that being said, though, yeah, discernment, you do have to pray concerning this, especially if you're in God's kingdom or a part of God's kingdom or chosen by God or anything in that nature, or God has an interest in you. Yeah, you do have to pray for discernment, and you have to consistently, I want to say, just pray. Pray without ceasing, as Jesus says, and concerning discernment too, and overall it is given by God. But see, there is attributes to the stuff, and I can't get into everything concerning it. No, but what I will say is, you must pray without ceasing concerning discernment and just your spiritual relationship with Him, all that stuff, and this stuff is not for everybody, But with all that being said, yeah. Discernment.